Nisuenga pa sa kantikot Meghalaya News 24 channel lo naram saksowa. Tani kuborang de. Jakamoni blakatani na aro sururo namruruat na West Garo Hills Deputy Commissioner social media o mandirang na uyatani na takchakinga aro songni nokni mandirang ko wamangni songo niknikingpa aro namdapat na nangingpa ko uyat na aga nangaha. Nakyong Ingon District ni official Facebook page to DC songni nokni mandirang ko wamangni niknikani ko aga na gata janmana uyat taha aro wa yabiap rangonari angi mukhangsongchong nigen eneba aga nangaha. Meghalaya Sorkari aro Meghalaya Football Association March ja o gigini international football match rangko ngatna thari samswani ko takinga ha. Wanagi mijal salni bako India team ni assistant coach Mahesh Gawali JN Stadium ona aro North Eastern Hills University ona reba ini rokani ko takanga ha. All India Football Federation ni thik khae agana ni gita de adokni JN Stadium o reba ingpa ja o India gigini international match ko ngatkin one FIFA friendly baksa Maldives March School ngen aro AFC Asian Cup hajalgani kholgruk snio qualify ongpa Bangladesh baksa March kholgruk punga o khagen. Meghalaya adokni district council election na banga thari samsoani ko dakingon adokni deputy commissioner rang baksa review meeting ko khaanga ha. Wanagi adoko gupon district rang na batte East Khasi Hills district kan gumakna batte dalbat kaba district inga aro ya East Khasi Hills district council election na chanani ko ISBT Shillong dakken. Aganani gitadi Sora civil subdivision no ge sosku bonga polling station rang donga Eastern aro West Khasi Hills so ge richasa sotprisa wanuni ge chikong kode ubostong na altugaba biap ane donaha. Riboyo ge richabri kolachigini East Khasi Hills so ge richasni kolachigitam nongstoino richasa sotprido aro makirwatto richasa kolgruk donga. Nakyong ingon KHADC o gumang polling station rang ge hajalsa richadok sotok sku donga aro JHADC na West Gentry Hills so richagani sotprisa East Gentry Hills so richasa sotokchet Amlarem civil subdivision no ge sotokchet aro gumang JHADC ni polling station rang ge richabri sotsni sni donga aro ya election na sorkari thangha kror khulgrukni ko jakhala aga nanga ha.
So preparations are all on track. We had multiple reviews with deputy commissioners. In fact, yesterday our chief secretary also visited ISBT to review the preparations in East Khasi Hills district, because we know East Khasi Hills is one of the larger districts when it comes to KHADC polls. So the meeting was satisfactory. The arrangements are all in place for dispatch of polling parties, dispatch of materials, and also receiving of materials, and the counting center, which has been notified as ISBT for the East Khasi Hills district, excluding Sora civil subdivision, which has 2 constituencies, and Pirnusla civil subdivision, which has 2 constituencies. So for Pirnusla and Sora, the commissioning and the dispatch of polling parties will be from Pirnusla and Sora respectively, and the counting also will happen at Pirnusla and Sora. For the remaining constituencies under the KHADC in East Khasi Hills district, it will happen in ISBT Shillong, which is in Maulai, as you are aware. So let me just go maybe district wise, right? Let me start with the sensitive and the normal polling stations. So we have Sora civil subdivision, which has 95 polling stations, of which 3 are sensitive. Mairang Mairang district, which is Eastern West Khasi Hills, which has 141 polling stations. The sensitive are 10. Pirnusla 103, non-sensitive. Ribhoi 331. Critical are 14, vulnerable are 16. East Khasi Hills has 733, vulnerable 31, critical 1. Nongstoin has 146, critical 1, vulnerable 28. Maukirwat has 120, 25 are sensitive. So a total in Khasi Hills Autonomous District Council 1669 polling stations, of which 88 have been classified as vulnerable, 16 as critical, and 25 as sensitive. In the Jaintia Hills Autonomous District Council, we have West Jaintia Hills District, excluding Amlarem Civil Subdivision, which has 241 polling stations, of which 47 are vulnerable. East Jaintia Hills 168, of which 40 are vulnerable, and Amlarem Civil Subdivision 68, of which 8 are vulnerable. So total in JHADC is 477, of which total of 95 have been classified as vulnerable. And adequate arrangements have been made These are done by the district administration in coordination with the SP of the concerned district. So adequate force has been, kept for all these critical and vulnerable polling stations, and all the DCs and SPs are constantly working together to ensure that these are taken care of, and all necessary arrangements have been made.
Meghalaya aduk Rebangaba Khasi aru Gentia Hills Autonomous District Council election at Hari Samswani ko takswing ha aru ya election ko February kubruksa thari ko atinga wanaki khobor ko manswani gitade betam candidate rang ya election campaign ko adukni ari bade iba dakinga jian asam adukni ba ko acham aganani gitade candidate uni chakpagaparang baksa kilometer kubruk pri nari rorowe Assam Meghalaya ni sima ari West Karbi Anglong District ona basokang ha ni akananga ha. Nakiung Ingon Commissioner Secretary in Charge District Council Affairs Department Cyril Diengdoni akanani gitade election na campaign ko kaingon thik onga constituency ni ngosa daknananga aru una agrede badina nangja ni akananga ha. Wasan oigi ja KHDC aru GHDC election na polling station rang ko official ong iyat manaha ni khobona pharakata ha.
No, campaigning will happen, as per the constituency, right? As per the constituency boundary. I mean, those are already notified. The number of polling stations, number of villages. This is already, known. In fact, the draft roll was published, the final roll was published, right? The list of villages which are under the KHADC and the JHADC constituency-wise are known. There were some amendments made, delimitation, but those were few. I think that's also already known. So this all is within that area. So everything that happens is within those constituency boundaries. So I don't see any issue. The DCs are in touch with the counterpart. We as a government have written to the government of Assam. The Chief Secretary has written a DO letter to Chief Secretary Assam to ensure that during polls some of the parties may have to move to Assam, which we know. For that, to ensure smooth passage, which is the usual practice and norm which we follow for every election, including the last parliamentary election and the MLA election. So this is always, the cooperation is always there from Assam for the smooth movement of our polling parties. That is not an issue. That will not. Complaints have been addressed as per the Model Code of Conduct guidelines. Also, complaints have to be given to the Deputy Commissioner, to the RO concerned of the constituency and the DC. So they dispose of these complaints at their level. If they are not able to dispose of, they bring it to our notice. But these are being done at the DC level.
Dali kuborang di yarangsan kuborang ni gaban nambate winas kinchmode Meghalaya News 24.com oni ko ni nagta man yen sakanti ko ni sohani na matela